Hi, this is Ogres, and this video review is on the WWE Day 1, or what used to be called pay-per-views, as now a Premier Live event. Today's recording date is January 5th, 2022. It's now 7:38 a.m. I was supposed to record this yesterday, but I fell asleep for several hours. I'm just getting around to recording it now. I finished watching this show on January 2nd around just after 4 p.m. So that was less than 3 days ago. It was live from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, on the WWE Network here in Australia, and in the US was on live on Peacock. So yeah, overall there were 6 matches on the show, and there was a kickoff match which I only just finished watching a few hours ago on YouTube. Yeah, I didn't watch it on the day, so I just finished watching it before, so now I can record the video. So there were 7 matches in total. If you don't include the kickoff show match, I got 6 out of 6 of the matches predicted right. All of them correct. I think that's the first time I've got 6 matches correct in a row since, let's see. What was my predictions for Survivor Series? Let's go back and check and look. Alright, it's not on that one. Survivor Series. This one, is it? Here it is. Survivor Series. There it is. Oh yeah, I was 6-1 for my predictions of Survivor Series. So the only one I didn't get was the main event. I thought Big E was going to win that match, but he lost to Roman Reigns. So yeah, the same with Crown Jewel. I think I was almost perfect for that one too. So this is the first pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, Premier Live event that I predicted all the matches, all the winners correct. So the opening match, which I thought was the hottest opening match compared to Survivor Series, was the Usos defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day, King Woods and Kofi Kingston. Meh. I'm sick of the New Day. I want them to I want them to become single stars, but it feels like that's never going to happen. But yeah, the Usos retained the SmackDown Tag Team titles in a hot opening match. Then there's an interview backstage. Big E comments on his odds of retaining the WWE Championship. Match number 2, which I thought was the weakest match on the show, on this live show, was Madcap Moss with Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre won by pinfall. Enough said about that match. Madcap Moss got way too much offense in my opinion. I think this should have just been like a 5-minute match. This was like several minutes or more. So then there's an interview backstage. Kevin Owens promo about the Fatal 5-Way WWE title match. Match number 3 was the Street Profits challenging RK Bro, Riddle, and Orton for the Raw Tag Team titles. It was an okay match, but it wasn't anything special, to be honest. I want to see what they do with RK Bro though, which is a weird tag team name, but I want to see how they're going to split, like what's going to cause them to split. So that'd be on Raw. So they won by pinfall and retained the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Migos, who performed the opening part of this Premier Live event, celebrated. They watched from ringside and then they got in the ring and shook their hands. Then there's an interview backstage. Megan Morant asks. One sec. Megan Morant asks Drew McIntyre about Happy Corbin defeating Moss earlier at Day 1. Then Happy Corbin and Moss come out and they attack Drew McIntyre, and then I think they dropped the steel like a heavy steel object onto Drew McIntyre, and then they took him out. I think that was to ride him out because he has a serious neck injury, I believe. So I think that's why they did that angle. Then there's an interview backstage. Kayla Braxton asks Brock Lesnar about him being added to the Fatal 5-Way WWE title match at Day 1. Brock basically thanks Paul Heyman for that. I'll look for the promo on YouTube because I can't really describe it. It's kind of odd to see Brock Lesnar actually have a very good promo as a face. Match number 4, The Miz versus Miz with Maurice versus Edge. I thought this was match of the night. I know a lot of people said that the main event, the opening match or the main event was better, but I thought for what it was, I thought it was probably the best match as a psychology, for a psychology type of thing, in my opinion, without a title on the line. So Edge won by pinfall. Beth Phoenix came out to neutralize Maurice's interference. Edge hit the spear on the Miz and got the 1, 2, 3. That was, in my opinion, yeah, there was a little bit of a mistiming with Beth Phoenix coming out, but yeah, I thought Edge winning the match was the right call. The Miz did not have a great 2021. I don't think, him winning the first live event of the new year is not really going to do anything for the Miz. So, after Edge's awesome feud with Seth Rollins on SmackDown up until, a couple of months ago. So then there was an interview backstage. Kevin Patrick interviews Lashley with MVP backstage about the Fatal 5-Way WWE title match. It was what it was. And then I'm not a Becky Lynch fan, but I think this is her best women's title match that she's had as far back as... What was the last one I liked? Oh yeah, Royal Rumble 2020 against a heel Asuka when Becky Lynch was the face. I think that was the last time she had a great match on what was back then a pay-per-view. So yeah, it only took her almost 2 years to finally have a really good one. I mean, the Crown Jewel match was good, but there was some botches and timing issues. Survivor Series was probably her best champion versus champion match that she's ever had, but yeah, again, she had to cheat to win that match against Charlotte, who's technically a heel on SmackDown anyway, so whatever. So, Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. Becky Lynch retained by pinfall. She hit the manhandle slam. She tried to use the ropes, but still got the 1, 2, 3. So I was surprised when she got the clean win there. I was expecting her to cheat again. That seems to be her MO since, I didn't watch Extreme Rules. I think that's been her MO for the last, 3 months now? Yeah. The first time I remember her doing that was at Crown Jewel, so... Yeah, this isn't the time to put the Raw Women's title on Liv Morgan. What they should do is build her up, have Liv Morgan or Asuka, or in this case Bayley. One of those 3 women win the Royal Rumble this year, the Women's Royal Rumble, or you can have someone completely different. But yeah, if you, I mean, they should have put the Money in the Bank on her back in July when she was on SmackDown, July last year, because she was red hot. If they want to, excuse me. If they want to keep her momentum going and not undercut her, at least have her in the final 4 of the Women's Royal Rumble match, and have her come up close. So she give me the runner-up, or at least come close to winning it. That's what I would do if she was in the Women's Royal Rumble match. But yeah, this isn't her time right now. It doesn't feel like it. Her promos are just not there, in my opinion. But yeah, someone who's returning, either Bayley or Asuka, they should get the push, in my opinion. Bayley, I'm not sure what they do with her because she's on SmackDown, but Asuka needs that push the most because they misused her in 2021. In my opinion, they took away her momentum, even though she had a great 2020 overall as a heel when the pandemic happened, and then Becky Lynch just freaking handed her the Raw Women's title. that's something you could play into at WrestleMania. Got on the build to WrestleMania 38, the fact that Becky Lynch technically never beat Asuka. What do you call it? No, yeah, she did beat Asuka. What I'm trying to get at is TLC 2018. Asuka won in that triple threat TLC women's match for the SmackDown Women's title with Charlotte involved. Then she beat Becky Lynch the following month at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Women's title when she was the champion. So she retained it against Becky. And then yeah, they completely buried Asuka in the SmackDown Women's title scene. Asuka should have been on WrestleMania 35 that year, in my opinion. She should have had a match against. If I was booking, I would put her against Mandy Rose again, or I would have done Naomi that year. Actually, that would have been a good match. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So they were 1-1 on pay-per-view against each other. No, she was 2-1. Sorry, 2-0, and then Becky Lynch won at the Royal Rumble in 2020, albeit using politics and freaking underhanded BS backstage. But you know, it's all about money when it comes to her. So 2-1. So if Becky Lynch wants that rivalry to continue, then they need to keep feuding again. What do you call it? Keep going, because it kind of didn't. It kind of should have. It should have had a conclusion in 2020, but it never got to that. So yeah, that's what I would do from whenever Asuka returns, going into WrestleMania 38. So at least have like a 2 to 3 month build. If you want to continue past WrestleMania, I would say go up until Money in the Bank, because that's where it left off anyway. That's just after Money in the Bank. Anyway, there was an interview backstage. Kevin Patrick interviews Seth Rollins. So he was the last guy to be interviewed about the fatal, I guess, 5-way match. So how many interviews did they do with them? So Kevin Owens was the first. No, Big E was the first one. Then Kevin Owens. Then Brock Lesnar, who was added to the match. I think Bobby Lashley was interviewed. So okay. So Seth Rollins was the last one. He kind of got screwed, in my opinion, in this. He has a gripe. Well, he should have a gripe. He should what do you call it? Yeah, he should get like a kind of a one-on-one match with Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, because of this. But that's what I would do if I was booking. I would have him get a one-on-one match with Brock Lesnar the day after the Royal Rumble. So whatever that is. So on Raw after the Rumble is what I would do. So, but they don't do what do you call it? They don't fix things like that, because they're dummies at WWE. Then there's the promo, Johnny Knoxville Royal Rumble cross promotion, and then we get to the main event, match number 6, fatal 5-way match for the WWE Championship. Let's see, Seth freaking Rollins. So they added that part to his name. It was on his merchandise. It took them that long to finally add it, which is weird, but whatever. And then Kevin Owens came out second. Bobby Lashley came out third. And then weirdly enough, Big E came out as the WWE Champion fourth. And you could tell that he was not too thrilled about what was going to happen, because usually the champion comes out last. Brock Lesnar came out last in the match. Did I talk about the kickoff show? Sheamus and Ridge Holland versus Cesaro and Ricochet. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if I did, but yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll go over it again. So Sheamus and Ridge Holland won by pinfall. Sheamus pinned Cesaro. Holland's nose got broken and was bleeding heavily after double team flip maneuver by Cesaro and Ricochet, which landed right on his nose. So that was a brutal match. But back to the main event. Yeah, Brock Lesnar won by pinfall after, I think it was 8 minutes. Let's get a thing on that. Day 1. curious as to how long that match lasted, because one sec, because the original main event I think was supposed to go over 20 minutes. Off the top of my head. So, who's calling me? Where was I? After this. Okay, here it is. 8 minutes and 21 seconds. So the longest match on the show was Edge versus The Miz at 20 minutes. The opening match was 17 minutes. The kickoff show match was actually pretty long as well. Yeah, that Drew McIntyre match, that should have gone only 5 minutes. 9 minutes, 45 seconds, way too long. Yeah, he should have won in less than half of, no, almost half the time, yeah. Yeah, best match of the night was Edge versus The Miz. So yeah. Sorry, I went off on that tangent before about Asuka because I believe they really need to book her strong, and if she's gonna have a good last final run in the WWE. But yeah, that was the Day 1 2022 live event, or Premier Live event. Oh yeah, in terms of my predictions, the opening match I predicted the Usos. Second match I predicted Drew McIntyre. Third match RK Bro. Fourth match I predicted Edge because I just don't see The Miz winning because he's a joke anyway. I never liked The Miz. Screw that guy. And then match number 5, I thought about picking Liv Morgan, but then I realized that she lost the Raw match against Becky Lynch, so the Raw Women's title match on Raw, so that kind of made sense not to pick her. So, and then the main event, I originally, before it changed, I picked either Seth Rollins or Big E to retain, and I think the original plan was for Big E to retain. So I picked Brock Lesnar when he was added to the match. So that's 6 out of 6. And then the kickoff match, which I didn't count, but if I was to pick, I would have gone with Sheamus and Rich Holland because, I mean, look at the size of those guys compared to Cesaro and Ricochet. Cesaro's a strong guy, but yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro had history, so that made the most sense. So as a grade, I would give this a C grade because there was just things that were not clicking on the show, and because of COVID, of course. And then as a score, 6 out of 10, which I originally gave it a few days ago. The matches that brought it down for me were the Madcap Moss and Drew McIntyre match. That's very annoying. And then the other matches, what other matches brought it down? The Raw Tag Team title match, because the Raw Tag Team titles are devalued. When you have Braun Strowman years ago at WrestleMania 34 win it with a 10-year-old kid, that kills the division. That kills the importance of the titles. Stupid. It is a stupid thing, a stupid way to build it. So, I mean, RK Bro are very hot right now, so it makes sense. So they kind of revived the Raw Tag Team title division, but yeah, I think this brand split needs to eventually end because they've killed it in 2021, in my opinion. The brand split in 2020, if it wasn't a pandemic, I think they still would have been strong. But yeah, they killed the concept of brand split with the stupid brand supremacy matches at Survivor Series. It's not even important. There's no stakes, so what's the point of having it? So anyway, so match of the night, in my opinion, was The Miz versus Edge. It was also 20 minutes long from what I just saw. So 20 minutes. And then how long was that that other match I saw? Okay, so the opening match was 17 minutes and 5 seconds. So I think that was the second longest match. And then the third one was that Raw Women's title match. 16 minutes and 58 seconds. So that got the third spot. And then, what was it? Oh yeah, the Raw Tag Team title match was 11 minutes. And 15 seconds. What followed after that? And then those two matches, so the kickoff match and that other match were exactly the same amount of time. Seconds. And then the main event itself was 8 minutes and 21 seconds. So there you go. So yeah, I thought the opening match was very good. Second match was a dud, in my opinion. It would have been better if it was just half the time. I would have given it at least a decent match, but yeah, dud. Third match was good. And then that match was, normally don't say this, but superb for what it was. The Raw Women's title match was a great match. Great. Yeah, I wouldn't say excellent, but great. And then the main event, for what it was a great main event, despite the changes. So yeah, that's my review of the WWE Day 1 2022 Premier Live event. So let me know what you thought about the video review in the comment section below. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. The next video review I will be doing will be the top 10 Asuka matches in her time in NXT, or from her NXT run, which was, I got here 2015 to 2017. So it was, she debuted, I believe, on October 7th. Is that right? No. She did the contract signing. It was in September 2015. I forget which date it was. But her first match on the takeover was October 7th, 2015. And her last day in NXT, I think, was sometime in September 2017. But I need to check that one. Her last... let me check, actually. So... How long have I been recording for? Let's see. That one. Ooh, over 20 minutes, okay. Let's see. No. Yes. Alright, so her NXT run, where is it? This one. Alright, she was definitely at the takeover in Brooklyn, August 22nd, 2015. She debuted actually on September 23rd. There you go. Her actual debut was September 23rd. September 23rd. Okay, so when did she leave NXT? That Takeover Brooklyn 3 match, that was August 19th. Okay, so that makes sense. So it was on September 6th, but officially August 24th is when it was taped. So September 6th, is that right? 6th. 2017. Which ended her reign at 510 days as the NXT Women's Champion. So yeah, that'll be my next video. The top 10 Asuka matches in her NXT run which lasted almost 2 years. But I beat her in terms of how long I've been watching it. I started in early 2015. It's now early 2022. So 7 years I've been watching NXT. 7. I didn't watch it in the previous couple of years because I didn't have the WWE Network in 2014 because we didn't have it yet in Australia. But anyway, that's it for this video review on the WWE Day 1 2022. This has been Ogres. Peace out.